Hello everyone. So in this session we will be learning about what is the present value of annuity. Okay. So first let us understand what is annuity. As the name itself suggests, annuity means annual. So in our last session what we had seen is we had seen the single cash flow. Either a single cash flow is invested or single cash flow is taken as a loan, and we need to find a present value and future value of a single cash flow. But what do you mean by annuities? Annuity is there is some annual cash inflow or outflow. For example, say rupees 5,000 invested annually for 5 years. Okay, this is annual cash flow. So if you draw a timeline, okay, we are in year 0. Okay, so year 1, okay, at the beginning of year 1 5,000 is invested. Then year 2 5,000 is invested. Year 3 5,000 is invested. Year 4 5,000 is invested, and year 5 5,000 is invested. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find, see, this is either year 0 or beginning of year 1. Correct. So all these are invested at the end of the year. And so this 5,000, it's a same amount that has been invested at the end of each year. This is known as a annuity. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we are going to find out present value of annuity. Okay, this is not a single cash flow, right? At end of every year some amount is invested. Okay, and that amount needs to be same throughout the year, right? So this is known as a annuity. Okay, now let's understand how to find out a present value of annuity. We'll take one example and try to find out the present value of annuity. So this is an example. Mr. A introduced a scheme. Okay, is introduced with a scheme wherein he will receive rupees 20,000 at the end of every year for 3 years. Rate of interest is 10% per annum. For this scheme, he needs to invest amount equal to the present value of rupees 20,000 receivable at the end of 3 years. At the end of each year for 3 years, discounted at 10% per annum. In short, we need to find out present value of rupees 20,000 receivable at the end of 3 years for, okay, receivable at the end of each year for 3 years, and which is discounted at the rate of 10% per annum. That is what we need to find out. Okay, so we'll prepare a timeline. We are at the year 0 or beginning of year 1, right? So now Mr. A, he'll receive year 1, he'll receive 20,000 at the end of year 1. Then at the end of year 2, he'll receive 20,000, and at the end of year 3, he'll receive 20,000. Okay, so what we need to find out, how much amount Mr. A needs to invest. That is nothing but present value of all these annuities. Correct. Now we'll see logically how to find out the present value. The discount rate is 10% per annum. So for the year 1, okay, present value, year 1, year 2, year 3, right? And amount is 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. Okay, as we had seen in our last video, present value of a single cash flow. So let's take all these annuities as a single cash flow just to understand the concept. Okay, so what will be the present value of 20,000 which will be received at the end of year 1 at the rate of 10% per annum? The present value will be 100 divided by 110. Okay, 20,000 into 100 divided by 110, correct? Then what will be the present value of 20,000 that will be received at the end of year 2? Okay, as of today, that will be 100 divided by 110 into 100 divided by 110, correct? Now, what will be the present value of 20,000 that will be received at the end of year 3? It will be 100 divided by 110 into 100 divided by 110 into 100 divided by 110. Okay, so now if you see this 100 divided by 110, it comes to 0.9091. Okay, next 0.8264, next 0.7513. Okay, now 0.9091 into 20,000 will give you the amount of 1818.1.82. 0.8264 into 20,000 will give you the amount of 16528.93, and then 0.7513 into 20,000 will give you 15026.3. Now the total of all this, now these are individual present value of 20,000 which will be receivable at the end of year 1, year 2 and year 3 respectively. Now let's take a total of this. Total of this comes to 49,737.04. So this is the present value, total present value of all of 20,000 receivable at the end of each year for 3 years, discounted at 10% per annum. This is how we calculate the present value of annuity. Now let's see the another way of calculating this. Since the amount is constant here, correct, 20,000 amount is constant. Okay, so what is the other way of calculating this is, what we can do is we can take the sum of this factors. Okay, sum of these factors for 3 years. Present value of, what is this? This is a present value of rupee 1 which will be received at the end of year 1. This is a present value of rupee 1 which will be received at the end of year 2. This is a present value of rupee 1 which will be received at the end of year 3. So if you take sum of this, okay, now the sum of this comes to 2.4869. Okay, so instead of preparing an individual table for each year, what you can do is you can take sum of this and you can directly multiply this with 20,4869. If you do this, the amount that you will be getting is 49,738. So there will be some rounding of differences, that is fine. Okay, so this is how you calculate the present value of an annuity. Okay, now let's see how to calculate this on the calculator. Okay, see, what you need to do is, for this example, you need to find 100 divided by 110. Okay, multiply. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to press M plus. Okay, M plus. m plus this. Since we need the total for 3 years, we need to press m plus 3 times and then mr. That is, if you press this, you'll get this amount, 2.4869. Now in some calculators there is a different setting. So what, either you can try this, okay, you need to cross verify if your calculator is giving a correct answer by doing this. Else what you can do is, there is one more method, 100 by 110 into m plus equal to m plus equal to m plus equal to, and then finally you have to do mr. Okay, so either your calc will work in this way or it will work in this way. Okay, so you need to see, okay, what is a suitable method for your calculator, cross check it with this, and then accordingly put it in your calc and find out the value. Okay, so this is the way you calculate a present value of annuity without using the formula. Now there is one formula for calculating present value of annuity also. I'll just put that formula and explain that formula, okay, for the same example. So this is the example, same example. Mr. A is introduced with the scheme wherein he will receive 20,000 at the end of every year for 3 years. Rate of interest is 10% per annum. For this scheme he needs to invest an amount equal to the present value of rupees 20,000 receivable at the end of each year for 3 years, discounted at 10% per annum. So the formula for the calculating the present value of annuity is PVA is equal to A into bracket 1 plus r the whole raised to n minus 1 divided by r into 1 plus r the whole raised to n, wherein PVA stands for present value of annuity, A stands for your annuity amount, then r is rate of interest, n is number of years. Now in the given example, here A is 20,000, R, that is rate of interest, is 10% per annum, so 10 divided by 100, that is 0.1, and n is 3 years. Okay, so present value of annuity is equal to 20,000 into bracket 1 plus r the whole raised to n, so that will be 1 plus 0.1 the whole raised to 3 minus 1 divided by r into 1 plus r the whole raised to n, that is 0.1 into bracket 1 plus 0.1 the whole raised to 3. Okay, so that comes to 20,000 into bracket 1.1 the whole raised to 3 minus 1 divided by 0.1 into bracket 1.1 the whole raised to 3, that is equal to 20,000 into 1.331 minus 1 divided by 0.1 into 1.331, that comes to 20,000 into 0.331 divided by 0.1331, so that comes to 20,000 into 2.48685, that is equal to 49,737. Now if you see, this is the present value of annuity, okay, as per the formula. Now if you see, this is same as what we had calculated earlier, 49,737.04, 49,737.04. Okay, so you can find the present value of annuity either by using formula or the earlier method which we had used. Okay, the only thing is, in case of formula, you need to remember the formula, right? You need to by heart the formula. In the first case, what we do is we think logically as to what is annuity and then what is the present value, and accordingly apply the factor. Okay, calculate the factor, okay, to which the annuity needs to be multiplied. So this was about the present value of an annuity. one thing that has been assumed is that the cash flow, that is the amount invested annually for 5 years, or if amount received, okay, or this example, amount received at 20,000, so that is at the end of each year and not at the beginning of the year. Okay, so this is one of the example. Okay, if the annuity is received at the beginning of each year, then the formula will change and entire calculation will change. Okay, but when you say annuity, it's usually at the end of every year. Okay, so this was about the present value of annuity. Thank you.